Hey guys, it's Candace.
And it's Elena.
And you're listening to Cousins on Crime.
Who all came back?
Who's back? Raise your hand. You know what I forgot to say last week that I can't believe because it's just been my whole life. Guess what's on Netflix?
Wait, what?
Homeland.
Are you serious?
Yes. Oh. And I've been rewatching it.
I didn't even know that. That's a good series.
It's one of my favorite shows. Like, it is one of the best shows.
There's so many twists and turns.
Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember a lot of things, like some key things.
Yeah.
And then I've forgotten some things. So like when I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, and Daniel's like, haven't you seen this? Like, I have, but I don't retain long-term memory.
I don't either.
Like I don't. My filing cabinet is very full, so I don't save files that I don't need.
Yeah.
But yes, I love Homeland, and if you've never seen it, it's such a great show. I think there's 8 seasons.
Yeah.
But it's on Netflix. Go so we can talk about it. Anyway, Lena's over here going, yeah. But get to the second part.
Come on, you left us on a cliffhanger.
Right. So this is part 2 of serial killer Wayne Nance. If you have not listened to part 1, you should do that. It really sets the scene for everything that's coming next. We talked about how Wayne was a weird kid, but people just kind of gave him a lot of grace. Then people didn't give him grace and thought he was real weird and scary. And then things happened in his life where they were like, aw. And then we talked about Donna Pound's murder and how we know Wayne committed that murder. And police thought so too, but they couldn't get enough evidence to nail his fins to the floor. So now, part 2, Wayne is 25. He's 25 now. He started working as a bouncer at the cabin.
Oh.
Yeah, the same place. George didn't want his wife working. Doesn't mind his son working there, though. Wayne had also started classes at the University of Montana.
Okay.
Seems like he's getting on track.
Sure.
Right?
Interesting.
Well, January 1980, a train crew found the remains of a young Jane Doe who'd been stabbed and beaten, dumped down an embankment off the highway there in Missoula. Because they didn't know who this girl was, I mean, they certainly didn't have a place to start when it came to identifying a suspect, or trying to anyway. And they named her the Beavertail Hill Girl.
Oh.
It wasn't until 1985, what a year, that the remains of the doe were identified through dental records as Devonna Nelson, who was from Seattle.
Oh.
She was just 15 when she ran away from home in the spring of 1978. Before ending up in Seattle, where she lived with her mother, Devonna lived with her dad in Illinois, and then most recently Louisiana before she moved to Seattle.
Oh, she was everywhere.
Yeah. So things were very unstable in her world. Her parents were going through a divorce on top of all the other ways that being a 15-year-old girl is hard. So she left her mother's home and was never seen again. She was a pretty girl with striking blue eyes and weighed about 100 pounds and was last seen wearing a dark colored dress. Her mom reported her missing, but she'd never see her daughter again. Guess who else was in Seattle in 1978, though?
Did his name start with a W?
It rhymed with pain.
Yeah.
Wayne Nance. After the grand jury decided not to indict him for Donna Pound's murder, he went up to Seattle to visit a friend that he was in the Navy with. He wasn't gone long, and he returned back to Missoula, where he enrolled in the University of Montana. But during this time, while he was giving university a try, he indulged in his deviant ways. I mean, he had made a few failed attempts to rape women in the area, and he had got away with all of that. In one instance, this woman returned home to her house to find ropes on her bedposts.
Oh my gosh.
And so she had left a window open because it was July. And she's like, it's hot, whatever. When she got home, she sees these ropes on her bedposts, and she's like, what is this? Like, this is stupid. So she takes off the ropes, locks her doors, and goes to sleep. She's like, this is weird enough where I'm going to call the police tomorrow. But she just goes to sleep. So listen, I don't know if Wayne decided to go do something and come back at a certain time, or if he had to go home. I mean, listen,
he couldn't wait for her anymore.
Sometimes life gets in the way.
Yeah.
You know, and you've got these plans. You've even tied the ropes to the bedpost, and something comes up.
And you just leave them there.
God bless her.
What?
Now, in addition to bouncing at the cabin, Wayne began to work at a furniture store called Conlin's, making deliveries and working in their warehouse. He was charming and flirty with the women. He would, scrape the ice off their car, bring them flowers, Valentine's Day cards. But he was kind of a douche to the men.
Oh.
This new job felt like a portal for Wayne and his sadistic fantasies because, like I said, he was making furniture deliveries in people's homes.
Yeah.
He could walk in, scope things out, learn enough about this family and decide if it was a viable option for him.
Perfect for him.
Right. One time, he was waiting in a woman's house that he had made a furniture delivery to when she returned home. He grabbed her and forced her upstairs, and just as he was restraining her, her husband came home.
Ooh.
And he took off.
Oh, wow.
It freaked him out. Now, his new venture wasn't exactly working out, but he wasn't going to give up.
Of course not.
Just like in grade school and high school, he did very well academically in college for a while. He eventually got bored and stopped doing his schoolwork, so he was failing his classes. And he'd grown into what some referred to as an attractive young man. The book calls him baby-faced. He's not my cup of tea. He lived with his dad in a ranch-style home, and he was fully integrating himself into the Conlin's work family, trying to become closer with his coworkers, especially the women.
Oh, yeah.
Christmas Eve, 1984, a wildlife photographer was on the outskirts of town looking for birds and other wild animals to capture when he spotted something black sticking out of the snow. He approached and realized that it was a blackened human leg.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. He called police and directed them to this kind of hard to get to area where the leg was in fact connected to the body of a woman buried in a shallow grave.
Oh my.
Now, they wouldn't know that for a couple days because the ground was very frozen. They actually had to bring a tent and a heater and set up a tent with a heater inside. That was interesting to me because, when you think about decomp, heat speeds up decomp, but maybe they had it set up. Maybe that's how they do it in Montana. I don't know. But anyways, they had to have this tent with the heater set up for like 2 days before they were able to chisel her out of the ground.
Yeah, you have to do what you got to do.
So this was the second Jane Doe found in the area, and it was presumed that because it was in close proximity to the train tracks, maybe these were drifters that had made their way into Missoula and somehow met with foul play, or maybe it was accidental. Who knows?
If it's an accident, they're not going to be in a grave.
Exactly.
Sorry to tell you.
We know it wasn't an accident because they were stabbed and beaten. So they called this doe Debbie Deer Creek after the creek nearby where she was found. The body had many features that seemed to be key in identifying her. Unlike the last doe who'd clearly been out in the elements for a while and was very skeletonized. This doe had amazing teeth, very straight, very white. She had dyed hair that looked like it had been dyed a few times, so it was distinct. And I'm sorry about this one. She had large breasts.
Oh, okay.
She was in the frozen ground, but her body was very intact, and it was a distinguishing feature to police.
Yeah.
Who were all men, I'm sure. She wasn't linked to Wayne at the time. But years later, Wayne's friend would realize that Debbie Deer Creek was a girl named Robin.
Oh.
She was hitchhiking when she got into an argument with this trucker that had picked her up. So he drops her off on the side of the road, right in front of the cabin.
Oh.
So this girl sees Wayne standing outside, and Wayne sees her seeing him. And she was soaking wet. She looked like the book calls her a ragamuffin. She looked like she wasn't from around these parts, and I think Wayne saw her coming a mile away. She was pretty. She had no money. She had nowhere to go. And Wayne wasn't going to have to try very hard with this one. She was 5'4" with dyed reddish hair, and Wayne invited her inside and bought her a drink. He made small talk with her. He sat there and he asked her where she was staying, knowing full well she had no place to stay.
Oh, man.
So he seized the opportunity and invited her to his house.
Where he was still staying with his dad.
Yeah. Oh. I wish I could say he was in his dad's basement, but he wasn't. One of the bartenders, Julie, had been good friends with Wayne for about 6 years. You know, they'd hung around. She'd been over to his house. They were drinking buddies. Nothing past friends, although she wished it would someday lead to that because she really liked him. But she watched him jealously sit with this disheveled looking person who just rolled in off the street.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Julie had always had a thing for Wayne, and he was really sweet to her. Like I said, even though they were friends, he still would bring her flowers and Valentine's Day cards, and he was nicer to her than any boyfriend that she'd ever had.
Like, how do you choose which girls to...
He just did it with a bunch of people, but he had never made any moves on her. It was always just like a brother, sister, friend type of relationship. But she was really surprised to see Wayne leave with this girl because he wasn't like that. He wasn't like a one-night stand kind of guy. She didn't know him to be that type of a guy. So she was like, wonder what's going on there. Julie was curious as to where this was going and why Wayne would take this random girl home. So she stopped by Wayne's house the next day under the guise of it being a friendly visit. But she really wanted to gather some intel about this girl from out of town. When she stopped by Wayne's, the three sat in the living room and chatted. At one point, Wayne left the room and the girls were left alone to chat. Julie didn't learn much about this girl, just that her name was Robin and that she'd recently had an abortion. Oh. She had no ties, no real plans for her life. She wasn't sure when she was leaving or where she was going after that. In the following days and weeks, Robin was still staying with Wayne.
What?
And it really bothered Julie. She was, it not just because she was sweet on Wayne, but Wayne had a girlfriend at the time.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Wayne had been dating a girl named Joni. So he wasn't exactly taking Robin out in public. Let me just put it that way. He pretty much kept her at home except for one time when he had to go up to the furniture store and she went with him and his boss met her just like in passing. I don't think Joni would have been too happy to know that her boyfriend was taking in some random girl from out of town. And despite Wayne's dad being rather strict, he was okay with Robin staying with them. I mean, she had no baggage. She had no extra clothing. So he said, you know, if you do some light housework, if you cook for us, clean, I'll buy you some clothes and food.
Okay.
Seemed like a great win-win for both of them. Sometimes Wayne would sneak off and leave Robin at home, and he'd sneak off to see Joni. Now, Joni certainly didn't know Wayne had a girl living with him, and Joni had never been invited to Wayne's house.
What?
Isn't that weird?
That is strange.
So she would have flipped if she knew that he had a girl living with him, essentially.
You may get to it, but did Robin know about Joni?
I don't know. That is unclear.
Okay.
That is unclear.
All right, keep
Probably not, knowing Wayne. Joni was in love with Wayne, and she actually thought she was going to marry him one day. Everything changed, though. They had been dating for quite a while when they finally had sex for the first time.
Oh, really?
To Joni, this felt like a natural progression of their relationship. It felt like the right thing to do. But she was surprised at Wayne's behavior right after they had sex. He quickly got dressed. He said goodnight and he left.
Well, that's not very romantic.
Right. So we'll be doing that again. Joni was like pretty sad.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the moment she'd been waiting for a long time, I'm sure. And she probably excused his behavior as like, well, he's 10 years older than me. Maybe he thinks that this is weird. Or I think she just was making excuses because she didn't want it to be what it was.
Okay.
Which was he felt like it was a mistake.
Aww.
It wasn't until Wayne sat her down and broke up with her that she got a little peeved at his behavior.
Yeah, how dare you do that?
Yeah. So now she went from sad to being like, okay, you know, giving excuses. And now he's breaking up with her and she's like, I'm sorry. So he told her, I don't like the way I feel when I'm not with you. I miss you. And I don't like that.
Okay.
And he was crying.
What?
He was crying, sobbing, telling her this and breaking up with her. And Joni was confused.
Oh, yeah. That's very
Because she's like, okay, let me get this straight. You're breaking up with me because you care about me too much. And I think she wasn't very emotional during that time because she was genuinely confused about the situation.
Make it make sense.
But he interpreted it as she didn't care that he was breaking up with her. So after breaking up with Joni, Wayne's friends noticed this shift in his demeanor. You know, he was more reserved. He wasn't as happy-go-lucky as he usually was. Julie noticed it too. And not long after the breakup, Robin vanished.
Okay.
Wayne told everyone that she had left town, but was very vague about where she went. It struck Julie as odd too, because he'd spent so much time with this girl, housed her, you know, spent so much time with her, and suddenly he doesn't want to talk about her. In 2006, DNA testing would reveal that Robin was really 16-year-old Marcella Marcy Bachman from Washington State. Her family described her as loving and gentle, and they were devastated to learn the runaway's fate. Her brothers and stepbrothers came to Missoula to retrieve her ashes and take them back to be with the family. And to us, you know, we tell these stories and it's like, oh, they solved this Jane Doe, you know, they identified this Jane Doe. Our brains can't even comprehend like the work and the amount of people that work on these cases and how much work and time goes into these cases and how monumental it is for the families to finally have answers.
Yeah, it's a very good point.
But yeah, she was using an alias, Robin.
Oh my goodness.
Her name was Marcy. Now the next crimes that Wayne was responsible for, it's a rough one. It has a lot of interesting parallels to my own life.
Okay.
So these victims hit me different. So Mike and Teresa Shook were a sweet couple with 3 kids. They spent 3 years and every dime they had building their dream home on a plot of land that they owned. And they did it on their own, actually. They had friends and family help with painting and laying floors and stuff like that, but it was really their dream. Teresa designed the modest house with 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, and she made a little sewing room just for her. They'd move in just before Thanksgiving and had recently had their new furniture delivered from Conlon's furniture store.
Oh.
It was a living room set that was definitely a splurge for this single income family, and that single income being a teacher's salary. But they deserved it. And you know what? Teresa was really good at budgeting. She's like, we can make this work. We'll pay it off. The sales lady at Conlon said that this couple was so sweet to work with. She remembered them coming in a few times before actually making their purchase. She said, unlike other couples who kind of argue about what kind of colors they like or what they want or need, these 2 seem to agree on everything important. Teresa was really just concerned with the fabric being able to be cleaned.
Right. With 3 kids.
With their 3 grubby little kids. Matt was 7, Luke was 4, and they had a 2-year-old Megan. The Shook family was so eager to start their life in their new house. They didn't care that it was 90% complete. I mean, they had the important things. They had the walls. They had weatherproofing for the winter coming up. But just as soon as that dream became a reality, it would be gone in the blink of an eye. It was a Thursday night, 12 days before Christmas in 1985. The Shook family was still settling into their new home. Mike was relaxing in his new recliner, watching TV, while Teresa made sugar cookie ornaments for the tree that they planned to get in the next couple days. Are you kidding me? She just couldn't wait to celebrate her first Christmas in the new house.
Yeah.
Luke and Megan were actually still awake, kind of playing around about 8:30, and Matt had already been sent to bed because he had school the following day. The relaxing evening was interrupted, though, by an unexpected knock at the door. Mike and Teresa looked at each other. Are you expecting anyone? No? You? Before anyone could say another word, Luke had run to the door and opened it.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Letting in not just the cold, but evil in human form.
Oh, my gosh.
In the next moments, a red-headed buffoon barged into their door and said, "I'm Conan the Barbarian." Mike got to his feet, not really sure what to do next. He was eyeing the metal candlestick, just in case. That buffoon, hiding behind thick glasses, was Wayne Nance. It's unclear if the Shooks recognized him or not, because he had not long dropped off their furniture to the house. But he had a gun. He lifted it and pointed it downwards towards the floor in Teresa's direction and fired. Now, this is possibly his attempt to scare her.
Right.
But he actually shot her in the leg.
Oh.
Yeah. So she hits the floor and the phone rings.
Oh.
And listen, because Teresa is a mom, she can do it all.
Yeah.
While being shot in the leg. So she answered the phone. It was her friend Mary asking her if she could babysit her son Jesse the following morning.
Oh, no. I don't think I'm going to be able to.
Teresa's been shot in the leg.
Oh, my
She was
gosh.
shot in the leg and she's on the phone as cool as a cuke.
Yeah.
Okay? Agreeing to babysit.
No way.
Yeah. She said, of course. Bring him over.
What?
Bring him over in the
world?
morning. And she kind of excused herself to get off the phone. She was scared that he might do something
If she
said anything.
Yeah.
Once she hung up, things escalated rather quickly, though. Wayne wasted no time hitting Mike in the head enough times that it took him down to the ground. Mike was tied up and stabbed in the side, left to writhe on the living room floor before Wayne held Teresa at gunpoint and led her down the hall to the bedroom.
Oh, no.
Wayne took the 2-year-old and put her in her crib,
No.
which was next to the bed that he tied her mother to.
Oh my gosh.
He sliced off her clothing, he raped her, and he stabbed her to death. Luke, who was 4, had run into his bedroom with Matt still sleeping. Him and his brother shared a bedroom. Matt slept through all of this.
Oh, wow.
He slept through the gunshot, all the commotion.
Wow.
Now Wayne looks around. He took some coins. He took a statue of an elk, which he gifted to his dad for Christmas.
Oh, Lord.
Not kidding.
Oh my gosh.
And what would eventually link him to these murders, a custom stag-handled hunting knife that Mike's father had given to each of his sons.
Oh.
Before leaving the home, now saturated in the blood of the 2 people who poured everything else into it, Wayne lit a fire.
Oh my gosh.
He grabbed the bar stools from the kitchen and placed them underneath the stairs. He rolled up some magazines and lit them on fire. Wayne swiftly exited the house, leaving the children to die there.
Oh my Lord.
In the fire.
Burned alive?
Yeah. When he shut the door, though, he actually cut off the oxygen to the fire.
Okay.
I mentioned that, they poured a lot of care into this house, a lot of thought, and that house was weatherproofed.
Oh, wow.
It was made to keep the oxygen out, the cold out, the heat out. So the fire, the flame went out. It just smoldered there for the rest of the night.
Okay.
But it made some really toxic smoke. Once the smoke reached the boys' room, Luke woke Matt because Matt was still asleep. They tried to open a window but couldn't. And they were already succumbing to the smoke, so they were feeling weak. So they just laid on the floor to breathe the cleanest air that they knew that they could at the moment.
Oh my gosh.
Matt had recently learned that at school.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. The following morning, Greg, the father of Jesse, the boy that Teresa has committed to babysitting,
Yeah.
pulled up to the Shook house about 7:30 in the morning. He was surprised to see Mike's car outside because Mike should have been at school by now. He was a teacher. Greg and Jesse got out of the car and walked up to the front and knocked, but there was no answer. After knocking a couple more times, Greg and Jesse actually left. Greg thought, well, maybe I got it wrong. Maybe I'm too early. And he had a meeting. So he's like, I've got enough time before my meeting that I'll take Jesse up the road, get a muffin, and come back.
Okay.
So they got back to the Shook's home 8:15. There was still no answer at the door. The 2 walked around to the side door, and when Greg put his hand on it, it was unlocked.
Oh.
He opened the door, and the smoke poured out, choking him.
Oh my gosh.
Now, he steps inside immediately because he's thinking, well, this house is on fire.
Yeah.
And he got no further than 2 steps when he saw Mike laying on the floor.
Oh my gosh.
He turned and took Jesse back to the truck and said, wait here. Do not go anywhere. Do not come inside this house. Greg went back inside the house and found Teresa in her bed. He found the children. They were all unconscious, but still breathing. And he called the police. The dispatcher instructed him to bundle the children and get them out of the house. Police arrived before the ambulance, and the deputies scooped up the children and drove down the road, meeting the ambulance on its way to the Shook house. And the children were taken to Marcus Daly Hospital. But later, a couple days later, they were airlifted to a specialty burn unit in another area hospital. Teresa and Mike's parents were notified of what they thought to be an accidental fire at the house. I mean, imagine thinking, oh my God, they just built all the work we've just put into that house for 3 years. And now a fire and they've died. Like, how could this happen? I just can't even imagine.
No way.
But then they learned that they were actually murdered. They just couldn't believe it. I mean, hoping for a miracle, police went to speak with Luke because he was the one that seemed to be the most conscious. And they thought maybe he could answer our questions. So when they asked him who did this, they didn't understand his response. Later, he would say Conan the Barbarian.
Okay, yeah. I thought that's what you were going
They
to
didn't
say.
understand it at the time. He was trying to make, he was trying to say it.
Yeah, he told me he was Conan. Yeah.
Exactly. Back at the crime scene, police had little to go on. I mean, they knew that Mike and Teresa had been murdered. They could see that Mike was tied up, but the Shooks were just regular, hardworking, middle-class people. I mean, there was nothing in either of their history or present that would lend them to this type of fate. It struck the officers as heinous as Donna Pound's murder that was still unsolved all these years later. But the fire was different. The bindings, the rape, those felt too similar, though.
Right.
All the evidence that might have been at the Shook home was covered in black soot. So this one would take some time for them to sort out. But this double homicide gave Wayne an idea. He could take out a husband.
Oh, no.
You see, before he'd run away, when the husband would come home.
Right.
Or wouldn't even attempt to strike if the husband was home. But now he realizes what he's capable of.
Oh, my gosh. Escalating.
Guys, grab your popcorn and buckle up for this next part. Wayne's next target would be Christy, who went by Chris, and her husband, Doug Wells. Chris Wells was the office manager at Conlon's, and Wayne fancied her. Fancied her or looked at her as like a conquest.
Right.
He did not like Doug.
Okay.
Doug would often come up to the store and see Chris, and Doug was around a lot. And Wayne would remark to people like, they don't really seem happy, or
gosh,
she could do better than him, or whatever it was. He was just jealous. So September 3rd, 1986, Doug and Chris decided to go out for the night. So they headed over to their friend's property. They took their rifles to have shooting practice. Doug had modified a gun that he got for Chris from a pawn shop, and she wanted to give it a whirl. Doug and Chris ate barbecue chicken with their friends, had a couple of drinks, and then they headed home because, the night had run its course, and one of their friends had to get up early for work. So they arrived home just before midnight. When they got home, Doug saw an orangish truck parked partly on his lawn, partly on the street, and it really ticked him off.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like,
excuse me.
And he remarked to Chris that he was really annoyed, and they went inside, and she's like going up to bed, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to go see what it's all about.
Oh,
like, I can't just go to bed. So Chris went up to bed, and Doug went outside to check on the truck and make sure this person wasn't trying to steal his boat that was actually parked on the side of his house. He checked, the boat was still there. So he went and shined his flashlight into the truck and saw a man slumped in the front seat. This guy appeared to be sleeping. He didn't stir at the sight of having a light shined in his vehicle. So Doug went back inside and told Chris it looked like the driver was sleeping one off.
Okay.
Chris didn't seem too bothered. She's like, yeah. She's reading her People magazine. She's like, I don't really even care. She was already bra off in bed, ready to go. But as Doug starts getting ready for bed, he just can't let it go.
Oh, no.
The truck. He didn't feel good about that truck. He's like, why are they sleeping it off in my lawn?
Yeah.
And he's like, even if it is someone sleeping, like, that just irritates me. He's like, you know what? I've got to take the trash out anyway.
Oh,
I'm going to just go, I'm just going to go have another look. So he starts gathering the trash and he heads out for the bins when he sees a figure hiding behind his bushes. And it startled him. Doug was like, "Who's that? Come out of the shadows." And the man said, "It's Wayne from Conlon's." It was too dark for Doug to get a good look at him, but Doug knew Wayne. And he asked him, "What are you doing in my yard?"
Yeah.
Wayne said that he was hiding there because he saw something suspicious and he wanted to check it out.
What?
So because of this truck, Doug was like, "Oh, you saw something too." It didn't occur to him that,
oh my gosh,
Wayne doesn't live around here.
Right.
Why are you here?
How did you see something suspicious?
So Wayne was like, "Do you have a flashlight? Go get it." So Doug walks back in to get the flashlight so they could investigate this together. And as soon as he walks back in to the house, there is a blow to the back of his head.
Oh.
He blacked out for a minute there and came to in the living room, laying on his back, and he could feel his head bleeding. Then he saw Wayne coming at him with a club of some sort. He really didn't know what it was, rearing it back to hit him with it. Then Doug took his shot. He knocked Wayne out back into the wall and knocked him down and disoriented him a bit. But Wayne got up, tussled up the stairs, and by now, Chris hears this commotion. She came out into the hall and was like, "What the heck?" Wayne announced himself, and Chris really couldn't tell if it was him because he was disheveled and Doug was bleeding. So she's like,
"Goodness,
what are you doing here?" Wayne said that he needed some money. That's all he wanted, and then he'd leave. And this was another thing that he said to other people, is he just wanted money, but he never did want money.
That's not really what he wanted.
Chris was the office manager at Conlon's, and Wayne believed that Chris would have some of Conlon's money. He said, "Look, I know it's payday. I know Conlon's just got paid. So maybe she brought the cash deposit home with her." Chris sat Doug down, propping his head up, trying to see what was up with him. And Wayne's talking about the money. And Chris is like, "Shut up."
We'll worry about that here in a minute.
Exactly. I love this woman, by the way. Wayne went and got some rope and told Chris to tie her husband, and she complied. Of course, she probably didn't do it very tight.
Yeah.
At one point, Wayne was spreading the blinds with his fingers to see if anybody was there. And he was like trying to close the blinds. And she was like, "Don't do that. Don't do that with the blinds. You're ruining my blinds." Me. Yeah. Totally. I would be kidnapped and I would be thinking about the fact that they're ruining my blinds.
Yeah, you're bending my blinds. That's so great.
And the other thing that the book says is that Chris saw all the blood that was getting all over the carpet. And she was thinking to herself, I could probably clean this amount of blood up, but if he keeps bleeding all over the carpet, I don't know.
We're going to have to get new carpet.
Yeah, exactly. I love her. I really think that there was either a dissociation with Chris during that moment, or she really thought this whole thing was pretty silly. She's thinking about these things because she's like, what is he even doing here?
Yeah.
Or maybe she just was telling herself that to get through it.
Right.
Maybe she thought it would end soon. Maybe she thought he really did want the money.
Yeah. Maybe if I could just get Doug fixed up, I could give him the money and he would leave.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he even said, "Give me the money. I'll have someone come untie you guys."
Okay.
Yeah. So Wayne went around the house trying to find some money where he could. I mean, he was shutting blinds, as he went. That's when things shifted for the couple. They went from thinking that this whole thing that would be over soon to fearing that Wayne was going to do something to them. He picked Chris up off the floor and carried her out of the bedroom and down the hall to another bedroom.
Oh my gosh.
And so it was this moment where Chris was like, "Oh," and then Doug was like, "Oh." Wayne put her on the bed and tied her to the bed with pantyhose. After going from Chris to Doug and Doug to Chris a few times, he decided to take Doug downstairs to separate them further. He didn't want Chris to hear what was going on with him, and he didn't want him to hear what was going on in the bedroom with Chris. Chris heard a little bit of shuffling, assuming that Wayne was taking Doug somewhere, and then she heard the basement door shut. And I think at this time she was starting to feel really scared, because now it seems like he's got this plan that he's executing. He's taken her to another bedroom. He's taking him downstairs, and it just seems more thought out than this, I'm looking for money.
Right.
So she starts to get really scared. Things were moving a little bit faster now. Wayne pushed Doug up against the post and said, I'll tie you to this and I'll call someone to come get you. But Doug was feeling really weak. I mean, remember, he's got a huge gash in the back of his head and he was still bleeding. He was disoriented and feeling weak. So Doug began to lean up against the post and take himself down to the floor to rest when he felt another blow to his head. A couple more followed, and Doug tried to crawl away, but Wayne got Doug back to the post and tied him up. A rope around his neck, securing him to the post, a rope around his torso and his feet. Wayne bounded back up the stairs to check on Chris, and Doug's eyes were drawn to the reloading bench where he kept one of his rifles. He knew, if I could just get across this room and load that rifle that's sitting right there.
Oh, wow.
This could all be over. He began wiggling away at the ropes that tied his hands behind his back. Wayne, like I said, he's going back and forth for what seemed like hours. But at this point, they really had no concept of time. Doug was losing even more blood now after having suffered even more blows to the head. Chris was laying on that bed, thoughts racing with what she could do if she could loosen her bindings and get free. While Wayne was back upstairs to check on Chris, she heard Doug moaning from the basement and asked Wayne, what did you do to him?
Oh, no.
And he said, I just knocked him around a little bit for talking back to me. And she felt like they were running out of time.
Yeah.
Once Wayne left the room to go back down to the basement, Chris wiggled her bindings harder and more furious than she had before. She was determined to get free. Back in the basement, Wayne approached Doug and thrust a knife into his side. Wayne had pierced Doug's lung, and he could feel the air and life escaping his body. By now, Doug realized, I'm going to die. And he really couldn't believe that this was how, I think we all think about, have these fleeting thoughts, and then he's actually being killed, and he's like, this is how I die. That's weird. Like, I always thought it would be something, old age or whatever it is. Wayne walked out of the basement, and this time he left the door open. But Doug's world started to fade. Everything looked like it was getting further and further away as his life left his body. Doug acknowledged that this is dying. He could feel the process of slipping away, and it was surreal to him. But in that moment, he felt his body move. And he was shocked that he still had a bit of strength that he thought was gone. He thought, I might die, but I'm taking this guy with me.
Okay.
Doug shifted his body, having made a lot of progress from loosening his bindings before.
Okay, good.
And he felt them loosen even more. He'd already freed one hand, and his feet bindings were loose enough to slip out of. He got his other hand free and tied the rope around his torso and his neck. He was free. He hobbled a few paces over to the reloading bench where the rifle had been this whole time. Out in the open. But Wayne was too stupid to see it. And actually, the rifle was in the process of being cleaned, so the barrel was off. So he, in a matter of seconds, he put the barrel back on, loaded it, and he figured he only had time to load one shell. Because he's like, he's coming back. So he puts one round in, and he starts banging around to get Wayne's
come
attention.
at me, bro.
Yeah. He knew, like, I don't have time to climb these stairs and go find him. I'm going to bring him to me. So Wayne heads down to the basement, and Doug is thinking, I've got one shot. I've got literally one shot at this guy. Doug could hear Wayne's footsteps towards the basement, and when he came around the corner, Doug fired. He hit Wayne in the side, but Doug actually thought he missed him until he heard a loud thud as Wayne fell to the living room floor. Doug made his way up the basement stairs and brought the rifle down on Wayne's head. Now Wayne's moaning. And
Doesn't
Chris
feel so
can
good,
hear
does it? Okay.
Wayne moaning now. Wayne crawled along the floor to get away from Doug, but Doug brought the rifle down time and time again.
Yes, ma'am.
As Wayne slowly crawled away. Doug was hitting him in the head and torso as hard as he could for a dying man. I mean, just with every bit of strength left in his body. Soon, Wayne had made it to the bedroom where he'd left Chris, Doug laying into him with every single inch of carpet that he cleared. Doug realized that he had another gun that was loaded in the nightstand, but Wayne was still moving around. And he knew, like, I don't have time to go get that gun. Wayne reached for his gun and pulled it out of the holster, cocked it, and after another blow delivered by Doug, Wayne shot the ceiling. Doug kept beating Wayne until the wooden stock of his rifle broke. Just then, Doug felt a sharp pain in his leg following another shot from Wayne's gun. He had been struck. You think this would have slowed him down. But actually, it just pissed him off. It made him more mad and gave him more adrenaline than ever before. And he knew he only had seconds to get to that gun while Wayne was cocking his gun. He had to cock it every time.
Okay.
So Doug rolls himself across the bed, grabs the gun in the nightstand. And Doug was doing all of this in the dark because at some point the lamp had gotten smashed in all the commotion and tussle. So there was one more shot from Wayne's gun before Doug was able to flip on the overhead light and see that Wayne had accidentally shot himself in the head. Yeah. Through the struggle and Wayne's beating, his arm got caught in a suicide lock position. Seeing this, Doug fell back on the bed. He said, Chris, I don't have much time.
Oh my gosh.
I don't have much time. So she called the police. Deputies arrived at the Wells home very swiftly with an ambulance in tow. Police burst into the house and followed the blood trail from the living room to the bedroom where they found even more blood and mayhem. Doug lay bleeding on the bed, being tended to by Chris. Deputy Spring looked over in the corner and was surprised to see his old classmate, Wayne Nance, bloody and twitching. Doug was rushed to the ambulance and transported to the hospital while Wayne was loaded onto a stretcher and leisurely carried out into the ambulance. The book recounts this moment. One of the paramedics' foot got caught in a depression in the lawn. And so he lost his grip of the stretcher and Wayne fell out onto the grass. And one of the paramedics said, "Are you okay?" And they all kind of chuckled. They loaded him back up. And, because everybody knew him. And being that they've caught him, everything's clicking for everyone. So once at the hospital, Doug underwent many surgeries to repair the extensive damage inflicted on him. He had severe head wounds. He had been stabbed. His lung collapsed. I mean, he was lucky to be alive.
Yeah.
And they got him stabilized, and he was resting when Chris came to tell him that Wayne was dead. It was over. Now the healing could begin. The next morning, the staff at Conlon's trickled in, and no one really realized anything was different until Wayne didn't arrive at work. Chris called the store and told a coworker what had happened the night before, and that Wayne was dead. And by now, it was all over the news. The furniture store was buzzing with shock and disbelief, and the community sat with this sinking feeling. Could Wayne have been responsible for the other murders in town?
Well, yes.
Particularly the Shook murders. This seemed to be the exact same situation, taking out a husband and wife in the same way. And remember that custom hunting knife that Wayne took from the Shook's house? Well, he'd been using it at the furniture store.
Oh.
The guys in the warehouse, they always carried like a little box cutter or a knife, but people took note that he had this over-the-top knife that he would get out to cut, zip ties off or, yeah, exactly. And he wouldn't let anyone borrow it.
Oh,
he was happy to show it off though, but he wouldn't let anyone borrow it. So they were able to verify with Mike Shook's father that this knife belonged to Mike after a search of Wayne's home. They also found that elk statue that he gave to his dad for Christmas.
His dad's like, I kind of like that.
George, what are you going to say about this? I'd like to hear it.
Right.
Wayne's room was a treasure trove. The book describes his room as a cluttered, organized mess.
Okay.
And it seemed like he didn't ever part with things. I'm feeling a little bit triggered right now. He had stacks of magazines, some clean, some were dirty, some opened, some were still in their plastic sleeves. He had homemade weapons like that tomahawk, a club with nails in it.
Sticks.
Right.
Sorry.
And he had chicken feet, Lena.
Chicken feet.
He had dried real chicken feet in his room.
It was no thing for him to put the kittens in the...
Right. He probably acquired those on his own.
Right.
Also in his room, they found a hair matching one of the does that was found in the area.
A hair?
A hair.
Like just randomly, or was he keeping it safe somewhere?
No, I think they just found a hair. Like,
well, that's kind of interesting to find a hair in all that clutter.
Exactly. So September of 1985, a hunter found skeletal remains. This doe was found obviously before Wayne died in a heavily wooded area. This was the third Jane Doe that was found. The autopsy revealed that the victim was a female in 20 to 35 year range, and her manner of death was homicide. Cause of death was a gunshot wound to the head. Over the years, she was referred to as Chrissy Crystal Creek because they didn't know who she was. And with good reason, because she wasn't from Missoula. After Wayne's death, police were taking a look at all these other unsolved crimes in the area and surmised that Chrissy Crystal Creek could have been one of Wayne's victims. But it wasn't until 2021.
Ooh.
The Montana Department of Justice's Sexual Assault Kit Initiative provided the Missoula County Sheriff's Office Cold Case Unit with the finances necessary to conduct more advanced DNA testing. With the help of Othram Labs and forensic grade genome sequencing, a profile was generated and they tested it against her relatives, and she was identified as Janet Lucas.
Oh.
According to her relatives, they last saw her in 1983 in Idaho, and they weren't really sure where she went after that. She had a 5-year-old son before she disappeared. Her family said she had a contagious smile. They never forgot about her. They never stopped loving her. So that was the last one that they connected to him. All these years later. Yeah. And they kind of figured because she was the third Jane Doe and she was in a similar area to Devonna Nelson and Marcy Bachman. But you know what? Just like Robert Eugene Brashears, the last serial killer that I covered, I think it's likely that Wayne Nance is responsible for even more murders. I mean, are we to believe that he went off to the Navy and didn't kill anyone during that time?
No, I don't believe that at all.
I mean, I don't believe that either. His pattern of behavior was devious. It was slimy. And I don't think he could have gone that long.
I mean, it just escalated so fast, it seemed like. Yeah. I mean, there's things that we don't know that he's done. I mean.
Right, sure. Yes. And in just like 2021, that was just years ago.
Right.
And so we may good and well find many other victims. But I know for some of the victims' families, they may not be satisfied with the fact that he was never held accountable for his crimes. I think about Donna Pound's family and how it must have been like, you had him the whole time.
I know.
But I hope the way he was taken out by two victims provides some sort of peace.
Oh, yeah.
That he will never hurt anyone again.
That's incredible how hard they fought. And he picked the wrong house.
He picked the wrong house.
I mean, their will to live and protect each other, and wow.
They're incredible.
Yeah.
So, and that is the monster, Wayne Nance. And all the destruction he caused.
That was gross. I did not. There were a few times that I felt sick listening to the story. But wow, he is a monster.
And you know what? Like, when you think of serial killers, they usually have an MO. They usually have things that they do. Some are very rigid, but Wayne Nance, and like you said, maybe it's the escalation. Maybe it's I'm going to try this, or I'm going to try this, or things didn't go that well the last time I killed that person. Right. I'm going to do it this way next time. And
he was learning from mistakes or learning like, okay, now, like going to husband and wife. I mean, that's bold.
It is bold. And all the people that he rubbed the wrong way along the way that just thought, he's so weird.
But that's what I mean. Like earlier I said, how do you just choose what females to schmooze over and which ones that you want to pounce on?
Yeah. And you know, his biggest problems was that he was murdering people he knew and people he didn't know.
Oh, yeah.
You know, people that the ones that got him in trouble, Donna Pounds, were ones that he was affiliated with. The Shook murders, he had been to their home, and they put that together later on as well, that he had delivered furniture to their house. And it just, like, those were his mistakes. All the Jane Does, those weren't solved until many years later.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well,
I feel relieved.
Yeah.
I feel relieved to be done with him.
All right. You got it out, and now it's in the wind.
Yeah.
Ew.
Like the pubic hair.
I don't know how you read
away.
that. Yeah.
He's in the wind with the pube.
Oh. I don't know how you read that whole book.
Lena.
I would have not finished it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you told their stories of the victims, and I pray for peace for their families. I mean, I know it was a long time ago, but their families, the kids that had to grow up with without their loved ones. I know.
It just hit me because, like, I spent years building our dream home and working so hard. And I just know they worked so much harder than I did because I obviously had trades doing the work. And so to think of this couple nailing boards and hanging drywall and finally moving into their house to celebrate the holidays, like that hurt.
Yeah, that's so awful.
Oh man. And their children being left to die.
It's unthinkable. I mean, he was a monster.
Yeah. So let's be done of him.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna go take a shower now.
Well, that was great. Let's do it again sometime.
You know we will. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Cousins on Crime. Get connected with us by becoming a free member on our Patreon. Or for just $5 a month, you'll have access to bonus episodes, discussion groups, and much more. If you can't afford $5 a month, we get it. Inflation, am I right? Please consider leaving us a positive review and rating wherever you listen.
And don't forget merch. Support our podcast and show the love by sporting t-shirts with our latest designs, or grab an evidence bag to keep the chain of custody for all your valuables. Don't forget to follow our show on your favorite streaming app so you never miss an episode, and get photos and updates on our Instagram at Cousins on Crime Podcast or our Cousins on Crime Facebook page. Have a case suggestion? Email us at cousinsoncrime@gmail.com.